coming in, and as more people log in, Nick Krem and I have been friends and business partners for years. And I don't know if you all know this, but Nick is actually taller than he looks.
Everybody says they think I'm short the first time I meet him. I don't know what I do to portray that.
I know. So he's got that going for. Also, he is the top 1% coach for the top 1% real estate agents and teams in the country. So, hey, Nick, we're excited to be here. I'd love for you to just share a little bit more about yourself, and let's just jump into our content, man. I'm really excited how to create an AI powered business. So let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. Thanks for having me on, Tom. It's always a pleasure. And for those of you that don't know me, I started in the real estate business as an ISA, calling 15 hours a day, 8 a.m. on the East Coast to 8 p.m. on the West Coast. So, I started doing every agent's favorite job, right? Getting cussed off the phone for 15 hours. But, I started there, and then in no time I was running the business. And then after that, we started working with some top agents, like you were saying, because of the clients that we had on their branding. The importance of branding, the importance of being omnipresent, right? Being on every platform all the time. So from there, my brother and I started our own business. We grew it into 13 countries in all 50 states in less than 2 years, all using organic media. And the crazy thing that just happened in November, like you guys saw, was with this AI. But for years, we would spend hours, days coming up with ideal client profiles, coming up with content. We had a huge team on the back end, and people would hire us. People would fly from all over the country to come to our house, learn, shoot content with us. And when November hit, everything changed with this artificial intelligence, right? Because we had an entire team of copywriters, an entire team of video editors, an entire team of marketing people that would be able to help us and our clients. We would go into business and consult them on what they should do with all their people. And now with AI, we cut our team by over 50%, not just because we just looked at them we literally don't have work for you anymore. AI, and this is the biggest shift. And I don't know, do you want me to jump right into it, Tom? What do you think?
Yeah, let's just jump right in, Nick. Let's go.
Yeah. So, I'm sure you guys have heard about AI. Guys, put in the chat. Have you guys heard of ChatGPT? I just want to see what I'm kind of dealing with here. Who's heard of that? Put in the chat. I see some thumbs up. Yeah. But guys, it's way bigger. That is just one of the tools, right? And I'll cover that tool. And actually, I'm going to make sure that by the end of this, there's a waiting, the power of AI is insane. And just to kind of give you guys some backstory on it too. So I know some people are will it be here to stay? Will it make that much of a difference? What's going on with AI? AI has been around for 70 years. Artificial intelligence has been around for 70 years. The only difference now is our access to it, right? The only difference now is our access to it. You think about it again, it's how is this going to affect business? Will this really integrate? Number one, just knowing where AI really is if you guys go on Netflix, right? And then you watch 5 shows, then all of a sudden, because you watch this, you will like this. That's AI. That Rumba, what is that? The Rumba that goes around a house, Tom? You know what I'm talking about? That Rumba, isn't that what it's called? Goes around the house and vacuums around. That's AI. On the computer, when you were typing, it said, "Did you mean this?" That's AI. So the notion that's I don't know how much it'll affect this, how much it'll change, will it stay? That is complete BS, because it is already so integrated in all of our lives. The only difference is our access to it and how we use it. So from there, I just want to kind of give some perspective on this too. So I'm sure everybody here knows Google. I'm not going to ask you guys that. That's a dumbass question. Sorry, I don't know if we can swear, but that's a dumb question. Do you know Google? Everybody here knows Google, right? So it's interesting what's happening, because ChatGPT is owned by Microsoft. And now Microsoft with Bing and Microsoft Edge is coming out, which utilizes ChatGPT. So to give some perspective on how big of a change I think this can really have on the real estate industry, it's understanding that Google is not too big to fail. I'll say that again. Google is not too big to fail and to never be what it was. Because now with ChatGPT being owned by Microsoft, they come on Microsoft Edge, utilizing ChatGPT on these platforms. For the first time that I've ever seen it, Google is running ads on Facebook just to go to Google. They're running ads just to go to Google and what Google is. Guys, people pay Google to run ads. They were the big behemoth. But now what we're noticing is they're becoming a little bit scared. If you know what, in the marketing world, You know what happens when people get scared. And all of a sudden, Google never had to run ads on Facebook. Now they are, because they need people to keep going there. They're like, holy crap, we might be getting replaced as the #1 search engine. If Google is not too big to fail, neither is the biggest team in your area. And here's why. AI shifted the playing field. It can drastically shift the playing field. Before AI, only the largest teams can hire a marketing director, a copywriter, a videographer, a video editor, brand designer, website designer, have the funds to do that and flood the marketplace, because the big teams know once you own the mind share, you own the market share. Only the biggest teams can afford to do that and then hire a coach to actually train them to do it. Now, with AI, the solo agent can outmarket the biggest team if it's used correctly. The solo agent, an agent on a team, can outmarket any brokerage out there when utilized correctly. So when we talk about AI, guys, like we've been diving into this since November. Like me and my team have been doing this. Like here are some things that we kind of realized. Number one, it can either be the biggest asset in your business or the biggest liability. It can either be the biggest asset in your business or the biggest liability. Biggest liability. How many people here have seen an ad for a chat bot? These chat bots are freaking going everywhere. Why? Just to give you guys some more perspective on how this is rolling out. Does anybody here know a guy named Frank Kern? I'm gonna give you some insider shit here, guys. Sorry, Tom, I'll try to hold that down. I'm gonna give you guys some insider things here. Frank Kern is like the godfather of marketing. He tells marketers what to do and what to sell to you, right? What he just created a course on is how to create a chatbot and sell your chatbot to people. So guess what? Why is everybody selling chatbots? Because Frank Kern told them to. And chatbots are just the smallest little piece of it. And it's just understanding why all this is happening. You're going to see a lot of ads for chatbots. And even more so, I've seen more ads for CRMs in these last couple of weeks than I have in years. CRMs and these lead companies are going crazy. Why? Because they know they're about to be replaced. They know that, like, some of these companies that refuse to integrate AI, they're like, we're going to stay a CRM. The biggest CRMs are about to be freaking replaced. Because you can do it with AI, and they don't want you. They know right now most people don't know enough information to know that CRMs are going to be replaced. So they're running as many ads and trying to get as many clients as they can right now. So that just gives some perspective. But again, biggest liability. Why? Because there's going to be a bunch of tools there are already so many tools that come out, so many trainings that are coming out, so many just courses on how to do one thing or just get a bunch of prompts. So why could it be the biggest liability? Because guys, AI is a tool, not a toy. It's a tool, not a toy. It's not meant to be played around with. It doesn't do any benefit to buy 10 chatbots and to do all these things, not figure out how to use it, go in there and trial and error. It can either be the biggest asset, because if used correctly, you can run your entire marketing and division, especially if you have a VA, for less than $1,000 a month and outmarket anybody in your marketplace. So getting into this, I'm actually going to get a slide here, because one of the things here, I'll tell you what, I'll go through some of the tools that we're utilizing. We call them Krem verified tools. The reason being is our team has used it. Our team has got support from the applications, which is a big thing. If you can't get support, I'll tell you what, it's very difficult to do. So one of the first thing is, like we were talking about ChatGPT. What is it used for? It's used for your copy. But understand one thing with ChatGPT: garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. If you don't utilize the right prompts, you're not going to get the right response. So here's what I recommend everybody here to do. I'm going to give you guys something to where, number one, I'm going to give you 2 different ways to create a chain. What a chain means is, if you guys open up your ChatGPT, you will see that you can create new chats all the time and ask it new questions. What you want to do is train your ChatGPT. Yes, you have to train it. One of the first things to know about ChatGPT is that it doesn't collect information from like 2021 to 2022. So it won't be the most up to date. But it's important that you do train it. What I mean by that is, if you keep going in and opening up new chats, you will never train it. It will just be the information that it had before. So one of the things that you have to do with this is first identify who is your ideal client profile that you are writing content for. And open up one chain and label it new home buyers. And you have to train it to speak to new home buyers in your content. Don't just go on there and say, write me 3 posts on new home buyers. It'll be basic and it'll be content that you could just get off the internet. Go in there and ask it. These are the 3 questions you should ask it. To get a basic ideal client profile, these are the questions you ask it. What are the goals of a new home buyer? And it will label it for you. What are the motivations of a new home buyer? And it will label it for you. What are the fears of a new home buyer? And it will label it for you. Now write me a post using the goals, motivations, and fears. And then every time you go back to that chain, you can just keep asking it those questions. If you don't do that, it'll give you garbage in, garbage out. You have to train it to speak like you want it to speak. Is that making sense for you guys? Can I get some thumbs up for the camera people? I'll give you guys one other tip on this one. ChatGPT for listing descriptions. Don't just go in there and say, write me a listing description for these tools. First, label a chat listing description. Then give it a listing description. Say, hey, I want you to write a post like this one below. And then paste a good listing description in there. Now, every time you go back into it, you could just give it the features and say, write it like the listing description above. Because now you trained it what a listing description is. If you don't train it, it will not give you the response that you want. You have to individually train your ChatGPT to do the things you want it to do. If you just go in there and say, give me 3 content posts for real estate agents, it will be the most basic thing in the world. You might as well be copying and pasting from the internet or some different things. You have to train it to speak like you want it to. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give you guys a tool. This is just some little things that I believe are very important. So here we go. Let me get this. So guys, Tom, can you write this in the chat? Because my keyboard's way up there.
Okay.
So if you write this in the chat, webchatgpt.app. Webchatgpt.app. I'll say it one more time. Webchatgpt.app. So guys, what this does, like I said, ChatGPT alone only has access from 2021, or if you have the updated version, 2022. Webchatgpt.app, if you click on that, it's a free plugin. So you instantly give your ChatGPT internet access to search real time. So now you can get more up-to-date information. And you'll see right at the bottom, you could turn it on and turn it off. And there's one more. Guys, this one will be a big one. Can you type in one more time, Tom?
Yeah.
So type in designer.microsoft.com. Designer.microsoft.com. So guys, this one you have to get on the wait list. It might take you about a week to get let in. Designer.microsoft.com. This will be the biggest game changer for creating images. I know there's some tools like Midjourney. It's tough to use. You have to be a prompt engineer to really utilize that one correctly. That's my opinion. Designer.microsoft.com. This one, dude, I'm telling you, this one, once you're allowed in, because you have to be on the wait list now. This one is going to create graphics for you. If you give it a picture of a home and give it the specs, it will literally create a listing picture for you. If you ask it, hey, I want a picture that looks like this, it will create it for you. It's one of the best tools that we've been utilizing. We got on the wait list a little bit ago and got let in. That is one of the best tools that you'll use for any graphics and any of your images. So again, guys, it's not about using all the tools out there. You are going to get inundated like crazy with all the best tools. Everyone's saying how they're using this, that, and the other thing. It's about how do I use the tools to actually generate more business? One of the best things you can do, I'm going to give you just the basics. Go into ChatGPT, create your ICP, goals, fears, motivations. And then write only to those ICPs, ideal client profiles, only to those people. Get on the wait list for this one, for your graphics. This will be the easiest for you to use. It's about simplicity and how you utilize it. That's what I would do. So as far as like making sure that you go into each one of these platforms, what I would say is what we're getting into is the real estate revolution, the real estate AI revolution. and understanding what is the narrative around AI. The narrative around AI is people are fearful of it. Let's be honest. Who here is a little bit fearful of AI? Right? There is good reason to be fearful, but that shouldn't allow us to hold us back. And understanding the AI real estate revolution is not about you, it's about the homeowner. How can you use AI to benefit the homeowner? And here's what I believe. AI is a tool to keep you guys away from the computer and in front of more people. Because now with AI, you can write your content faster. So now you don't have to sit behind a computer and think. You can get video ideas faster, so you don't have to sit behind a computer. You can write emails faster. You can create your designs faster. AI, the way that you should view AI is a tool to be able to speak and communicate with your people better. Don't use it to replace you, because it can. I'll just throw this out here, guys. Don't think that real estate agents are too good to be replaced. How agents go about using it will be how our future is held. Use it as a tool and communicate to your marketplace that you're using it to be able to communicate better. How we control the narrative and take that fear that people have, say, hey, I'm the person that could be able to help you. Here's how AI is used. So Tom, I can get into a lot of subjects on this. Is there anything in particular that you had questions on or that you think would be good knowledge for people to know?
Well, I would just like, for the novice, where does someone start? I think the problem that most agents have is they just want to know where to start. Where do I start with this? So we all need to go back to what's the problem? What problem do you have? So if it's an agent that has a time management problem with, writing their MLS comments, or if hey, I don't know what to put on my blog. So let's just maybe start with that. So for example, I need some help with my MLS comments and what to put on my website blog.
So I think that all entails, yes, that's a great point, is where to start and what is the real problem. And I'll tell people the real problem, whether they know this or not. It's that people don't know who you are. Yeah. That's the real problem. Not getting in front of people enough. Not getting in front of people enough, not staying in front of them enough. The biggest problem is not knowing what to say in your content. Does anybody have that problem? Not knowing what to post.
Yeah.
Not knowing what to say. Not knowing the right message to actually drive business. So the best place for anybody to start, create one ideal client profile, goals, fears, motivation, and then say, write me a Facebook post using the goals. Write me an Instagram post using the fears. Write me an Instagram post using all three. And actually posting it. Nobody here can give me an excuse anymore of I don't know what to say or I don't know what to do. Now you do with Chat GPT. It takes care of it for you as long as you set it up the right way. Goals, fears, motivations of new home buyers. Goals, fears, motivations of home sellers. Write me posts around those. The biggest problem most people have is that they are unknown or unknown to more people. And I'd say, well, I have a big brand. Get a bigger one. Why are the biggest, look at the biggest people, like the biggest brands in their perspective field in the world. Apple. Why is Apple one of the biggest? Because everybody knows who Apple is. Product placement. They are everywhere in front of you all the time. Look at Las Vegas. Tom, do the lights ever go off in Las Vegas?
Never. No.
They never go off. You can go there on Christmas Day at midnight. The lights are on and things are happening. Look at Kylie Cosmetics, one of the biggest social media brands that are out there. They are in front of you all the time. And then drawing it back to look at probably some of the biggest real estate companies or just even teams in your area. I bet what they do better than anyone else is stay in front of you more. They had more money to put into marketing. They had more money to run ads. They had more money to put up signs. They had more money to do these things. Now with AI, you can do it for less than $100 a month. Literally. If you use the biggest problem the biggest problem that agents have is not getting in front of their clients enough, not staying in front of their clients enough, not sending enough emails, not posting enough. Now with this tool, you can literally go in there and say, here's my ICP, write me 5 emails for my ideal client profile, and then set them up for the entire week. Write me 5 Facebook posts for my ideal client profile and set them up for the entire week. Look, here's what I tell people. Would you rather have somebody unsubscribe or unfollow you or have no idea who the heck you are? They're like, well, how much is too much? There's no such thing as too much. The biggest agents will be the most well-known, period. It's not the best agent who wins, it's the best marketer.
So Nick, we've got a question in the chat and it says, what were those 3 questions to train my chat GPT?
So if you guys open it up and click new chat, you'll see it right there at the top. And you want to label that chat ideal client profile for new home buyer. So that way you always, like, your whole chat GPT isn't trained to speak. The specific chat that you open is what's trained that way. So you open that chat and you say, what are the goals of my target audience? And you have to insert your target audience. Don't put target audience. It doesn't know your target audience. You have to put it in. So what are the goals of home sellers looking to relocate? Be specific. What are the goals of home sellers looking to relocate? What are the fears of new home sellers looking to relocate? What are the motivations of new home sellers looking to relocate? Okay, now it's trained. Then you have to keep going back to that same chat thread and saying, write me a blog post, 1,000-word blog post about the fears of new home sellers looking to relocate. Since it knows the fears now, it can write it. If you don't put that in there, it will give you a basic answer. So you have to train it first. Guys, this is your tool. This is like an employee that can run for you anytime. You can literally go in there and ask it, write me 20 Facebook posts about the goals, fears, and motivations about blank audience. But you first have to train it what those are. It will tell you what they are, but you have to ask it the question, what are the fears of home sellers looking to relocate? What are the fears of home sellers looking to downsize? And it will give you, brum, brum, brum. Now it's trained. All right, now write me a post about the fears. Write me 5 posts about the fears. Write me 5 posts about the motivations. Write me 5 posts about the goals. Train it first. And guys, don't create 20 ideal client profiles. If you're for everybody, you're for nobody. Create 3 max and just hit your sphere more and more and more. Send the freaking email, 1 email a day at the minimum. If you guys are asking me how many you should post, that's the wrong question because the answer is never enough. Again, would you rather have somebody unfollow you or unsubscribe or have no idea who the F you are? Because those are your options. Because the people who jive with your post, who like, because when you speak to someone's fears, they're like, oh my gosh, that's me. They're just going to keep coming back for more and more. And then you hit them with the motivation and they're like, man, this person's speaking to me. Has anybody ever followed somebody or maybe still follow them because you feel like that person knows you? You feel like that person is just like you. That person is what you're looking for. That's what you can be to people now. But if you don't post enough, you'll just be some other person that randomly pops up. Create your ICPs and then go turn the lights on in your business and never turn them off. Turn them on like Vegas, never turn them off.
So, hey, I think something great to talk about is what I learned from you way back when I first started your coaching was to, number one is just be consistent with personal, with business and inspirational posts and videos, and just be real and be very transparent, but just be consistent. So do you have anything to share about just kind of the foundation of marketing and the consistency and the videos?
Yeah, here, actually, one of my favorite slides. I'm checking some of my slides here because I don't know. When you do something really good, like, all right, let me go back to it because I have 4 questions that you have to ask yourself about your content. Let me bring this up. Here they are, guys. Are you going to create or are you going to watch? Only you can answer that. Are you going to create content or are you going to watch it? Those are your options. To me, there's no in between. Are you going to create or are you going to watch? Look, guys, it's either a social media. People go to social media because they're lazy and bored. They watch. It's my social CRM. I go to create. Are you going to differentiate or are you going to die? Right? Art of differentiation, guys. Differentiate yourself from every other realtor by only speaking to your target audience. If you speak to everybody, you're never going to move them. People are sold on emotion and justify with logic. If you just keep hitting with logic about real estate, they don't give a damn about that. Differentiate yourself by speaking to their fears, their goals, their motivations. Is this tool going to be an asset or a liability to you? Are you going to use the tool or watch yourself be used by it? And here's the biggest question that I believe people have to ask themselves, especially now with the ability of ChatGPT to create unlimited content for you. I just gave you a tool to create unlimited content. I don't know if you guys realize that. Goals, fears, motivations. Go on there, write me 5 posts about my goals. Write me 100 posts about their fears. Unlimited content is what's at your hands. Are you going to take over or are you going to stay the same? Are you going to because you can take over with this, or are you going to use it to post the same amount you did before? Take over or stay the same. It's your choice now. There's no excuse for saying, I don't know what to post. There's no excuse for saying, I don't have the time to keep up that much. There's no excuse for saying, I don't have the team behind me to do it. Use it. Use it. Take over or stay the same.
So could you repeat the one that you said, people are sold on emotion, but what by logic?
They're sold on emotion and justify with logic.
Right.
That's why when you write your posts, write them out the goals, fears, and motivations. That's the emotion. You will then be able to go over there because once you get through that emotional barrier, then they're open. Then you being a good agent is the logic. And the actual what you can do for them is the logic.
And that goes right in with stories. I'm reading a great book right now. It's called Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller.
Great book.
That's money. People will remember stories. Our mind goes to a story. So I know you had a couple of stories that you recommend agents, like when they sell a house, just don't show a photo with a sold sign. Hey, I sold this house. What do you recommend they do?
Yeah. So like here's what I think realtor.com and Zillow tricked everybody. I really do. I think they tricked everybody to think that they should post a picture of just bought, just sold, just listed. Here's why. Because if I just post a picture of just listed with a picture of it, we are training our audience that the home is the most important part of the deal. What is Zillow's home business model? Look up homes and pick an agent out of the hat. Just pick an agent out of the hat, right? That's not important. Find the home first. If you just keep posting pictures of a home, you're just listing, just buying, you are feeding the monster because you are training your audience that the home's the most important part of the deal. Instead, do this. When you help someone buy a home, especially multiple offers, stand in front of the home, take out your camera and say, hey guys, I just helped my clients move into this home here behind me. Let me tell you what I had to do. The reality of this situation is there are 3 other offers on this home. That means 3 potential families thought that their kids were going to be playing in the backyard, thought maybe they were going to be going to this place right down the street. They're already picking out which bedroom was going to be theirs, but only one client got in there. Here's what I did to get my family in there. I stayed up till midnight answering questions. I was working on the contract. I pulled over on the side of the road to make sure that my contract went through on time. I did these things. Why? Because I love what I do. And my clients told me this was their dream home. So guys, if you want to get into your dream home, the agent you work with matters. Make sure you reach out to me. How much better is that than a just bought?
That is so much better because people have problems and money changes hands when problems get solved. So, well, cool. Hey, Nick, we're out of time, man, and we could go on forever. If anyone wants to reach out, how do they get a hold of you?
Nick Krem. Just go to Nick Krem on Facebook, Instagram, email.com, nickkrem.com. You guys can go anywhere with Nick Krem.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks, y'all. Great to see you. We've got Dialing for Dollars starts in 15 minutes. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Nick.
Awesome. Appreciate
Have
you.
a good one.
Thanks,
See y'all
Nick. That was
later.
awesome.
Let's go.